Right, here we are, 95 Rockview on enchanting and beautiful Lake Bombazine. So you walk in here into a beautiful large family room and boom. So we are at the northern end of Lake Bomo. The float bridge is just up there. You can barely make it out right there in the woods. Lots and lots of lake frontage. There's that iconic rock patio across the way, but here we go. These owners did all this work 2 years ago, and they now rent this out. They have Vacasa managing the property, but this was originally a single floor camp, and they built up on it. The flooring looks to be like a luxury vinyl plank. Everything is in really good shape, but it's kind of clear that it was an old building that they built up on top of. Like, I just stepped on what's probably a beam running underneath for support. So the floor is just a little higher right there. And then when we look up on the ceiling, there's just a crack along the seam between the sheetrock up here. I wouldn't be super concerned with that, but it's an old building that's been facelifted and well done. This is just a vinyl covering on a countertop, but it's a decent quality, but it's not granite or quartz. Plenty of cabinet space here. And it feels and smells fresh, honestly. Mini splits, lots of them, and just a fantastic view. You've got a first floor primary with ensuite here. It's not super big, but it's super convenient to the kitchen. This appears to me to be a queen size bed. Mini split in here. The carpet feels like it's about 2 years old and has seen some traffic, but it's nice. If you don't mind carpet, it's great. There's the closest neighbor. We've got hooks here, smallish closet, no doors. But who needs a closet with doors at the lake? Super cute. They really leaned into the Vermont sliding barn door thing in this property, as you'll see. But we've got toilet, we've got the stand-up shower, making this a, you guessed it, 3/4 bath. And all well done. Feels modern, but modern farmhouse is the modern farmhouse meets lake house is what we got going on here. Oh, look at that. A little cutout in the wall for a glass of water, your phone, whatever. All right, here we go, back out. That's the view you walk out to. Broom closet, etc. Down the hall here, I'm gonna pass the laundry and half bath / powder room. There's stairs that go up. So now we're looking back at the main entrance. We've got a toilet and a sink. We've got washer, dryer, and some shelving in here. Very European, teeny weeny sink. Here's another, oh, there's Nancy, the listing agent. She is the absolute sweetest. All right, upstairs here we've got 3 rooms. House is permitted with the wastewater system for 3 bedrooms. So they currently have it set up as a 4-bedroom. Can't tell you can make it a 4-bedroom. So here we go, mini split. We've got 2 single beds in this room, plenty of windows. A nice sitting area out here. Certainly could be a home office. Maybe you could put a couple bunks in here. I didn't say that. And then we go into, well, I think what I would use as my primary, were I to live here, because we're on the 2nd floor. I don't want to be on the 1st floor where all the action is. There's plenty of windows still. And you've got a 3/4 bath here. So stand-up shower again, toilet, sink. Fantastic view, mini split. We've got the shared full bath right there. We'll go in a minute. Here is another single bedroom. So that other bedroom I was just in doesn't have a closet. They sacrificed the closet for the bathroom. Mini split in this room as well. still fantastic views of the lake. And then a very, actually large size. Oh, it's not a full bath. I'm a liar. So no bathtub in this house. So for people with small children, they really like bathtubs. But other than that, nice sized bathroom here. Gosh, I bet if you wanted, it would not be difficult at all to turn this into, I think they call it a room. Yeah, turn the bathtub sideways. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. That is it. So we've got 2 floors. There is some unfinished space underneath, but that is the technically 3-bedroom, 1, 2, 3, 3/4 baths and a powder room. All right, let's go outside. About the other stuff. Here we are under the house. There are the condensers for the mini splits, water heater, expansion tank, plenty of dry storage. But it's nice that all this stuff is hidden, because that many condensers outside, definitely not awesome.
Yeah, and you don't hear them upstairs.
Here we are down at the dock, 95 Rockview. Technically in Fairhaven, but I mean, clearly we're on Lake Bomoseen. This is Bird Point with the rocks and the gazebo. Looking down the lake towards Crystal Beach, and the lake house are right across, right around that corner. But we're on the north end here. The lake is kind of narrow, so wake boats are not allowed up here. The wind doesn't get a terribly long fetch across the lake, so you don't get the punishing waves that happen in the southern part of the lake where it's wide, even when there's no boats out on the water. I mean, obviously I'm not telling you that there's never waves here. It's just not like down south. So we got 2 docks right here. This other smaller dock is on the property, and you can see the size of the boats right here. So the water gets real deep real quick coming off the shore. There's somebody's little play float right there. But the water, as you can see, is crystal clear, and it gets real deep. I would not be afraid to dive headfirst in anywhere around here. There's a little bit of vegetation here, not much. Bomoseen is known for its vegetation. When the boats, especially down on the south end, back out, they go back and forth to try to shake any vegetation off their propellers. They call it the Bomo Shuffle. But not a ton of that here, which is good. Plenty of room for a boat or 2 or 3. But this is, I really, really like this location. And now we're gonna look back up. There's the house. So like most homes on Bomo, it's pretty steep ledge around it. You have to go up to get to the house, but big whoop. This is an enormous lot for Lake Bomoseen, and it is uncommonly private with all of this vegetation on this side. So you do have neighbors that you can see and you can interact with down here. But basically all you can see here, right where those 2 little bushes are, that's where this property starts. It is just a huge lot. Here's our other dock. Neighbors. And then as we look back up, there you can see the front of the white SUV is kind of the property line. But you have just a ton of space here. You could have 3 cornhole games going down here if you wanted to. There's a hammock stand right there. Kayak stand, kayaks, all the furniture, everything comes with this. Completely turnkey. The listing agent is going to get me the, rental information from Vacasa. So that'll be pretty awesome. It's currently a 3-season house. You could make it a 4-season house. I'll tell you all about that later. Nice fire pit here. This could easily be gorgeous with just a little bit of landscaping effort. Torches for the mood. All kinds of other possibilities out here by the lake. What I didn't show you was the deck from the entry. I'll show you that in just a minute. So here we go. We're now up at the top of the property here at 95 Rockview. That V-shaped tree is kind of the property line over there. You can kind of make out a brown house right there, right there. Closest neighbor on this side. Again, it's cool to have a little bit of privacy, but this is an enormous lot. There's the house, my vehicle. You can see the listing agent leaving. But this is the property right here, property line. This driveway that we're on is a right of way. Here is this property line, goes right down there. This driveway is a right of way for that house. He uses it during the winter. That's a year-round resident. Otherwise, you can kind of see up here, there's another driveway. That's what he uses in the summer. But because this one is shared, it's going to be easier to use in the winter. Nice turnaround driveway here. Makes it nice and convenient and easy. And here is the property line again. Looking down at the house. There is plenty of room if someone wanted to put in a garage or a carport right here next to the house. There's no water or sewer right over there. This is the mound system for the wastewater. And there is the holding tank right down there. So that's newish. You can see it has risers for easy access, which is great. And then you can kind of see this looks like a path, but it's not. This is a French drain that they put in. So it catches water coming down the hill and redirects it away around the house down there, which is actually a really nice feature. So this is a really cool listing. It definitely has a lot of potential, a lot of ups. I can't wait to see the rental history. And it's renovated and air conditioned. There's the deck. So that's the main entrance that we came through when we started the tour, was right in there. Nice deck here. Little grill station over there, but lots of potential if you wanted to expand the deck and the outdoor space here. So that is it from Lake Bombazine at 95 Rockview. Hope you enjoyed it.